Lena stood in the bedroom doorway, still wearing her blue nursing scrubs, watching her husband pack. Marcus folded his expensive shirts into a new leather suitcase without looking at her. Half the closet was already empty. His shoes were gone. His toiletries had vanished from the bathroom, and their wedding photograph lay face down in the trash. "What are you doing?" Lena asked. "Leaving," Marcus replied. The word landed like a blow. "Leaving for where?" "For good." Marcus finally looked at her, but there was no warmth in his eyes. He explained that he had started a new executive position that came with important clients, corporate events, and international travel, and he needed someone who fit that lifestyle. Lena reminded him that she was his wife, but Marcus coldly told her that was the problem. He then showed her a photograph of a glamorous woman named Vanessa who worked in corporate development and admitted they had been seeing each other for 5 months. Lena's hands began to shake as she realized he'd been lying to her while she worked extra hospital shifts, supported his career, paid bills during his unemployment, and encouraged him through every failure. Marcus insisted he had not planned for the affair to happen, but Lena looked at the carefully packed suitcase and told him he had certainly planned his exit. Marcus closed the suitcase and told Lena his attorney would send the divorce papers the next day. He said she could remain in the apartment until the lease ended, but afterward she would need to find somewhere cheaper. When Lena asked about their savings, Marcus looked away. She rushed to the kitchen, opened their banking application, and discovered that the account contained only $186. The night before, it had held nearly $14,000. Marcus claimed he had moved his share, but Lena reminded him that he had taken all of it. He lifted the suitcase and told her he had outgrown the relationship. When Lena asked whether he meant he had outgrown her, Marcus said she was only a nurse from a working-class family, while Vanessa belonged in the rooms he was entering. He walked out without another word. Seconds later, Lena received a message saying he had blocked her number and that all future communication should go through his attorney. She stood alone in the apartment, staring at the dinner she had bought to celebrate his promotion. By morning, it remained untouched. 2 days later, the divorce papers arrived. Marcus wanted a quick separation, no support, and no discussion of his affair or the money he had taken. Lena sat at the kitchen table reading the papers when her phone rang from an international number. A formal voice introduced himself as Adrian Cole, an attorney from Zurich, calling regarding her late aunt, Victoria Carter. Lena barely remembered Victoria, her mother's estranged sister who had moved to Europe decades earlier. Mr. Cole informed her that Victoria had died 7 weeks before and had named Lena as the sole beneficiary of her estate. Lena assumed it had to be a mistake because they had never been close, but Mr. Cole explained that the distance between them had been Victoria's greatest regret. He then revealed that Victoria had become a highly successful investor and that her estate was worth approximately $812 million. Lena could hardly breathe. She told him that her husband had left her 2 days earlier. Mr. Cole immediately asked whether Marcus knew about the inheritance. When Lena said no, he advised her not to tell him because Victoria had created trusts designed to protect her from anyone who might try to benefit from her wealth. Lena asked whether Marcus could take any of it, and Mr. Cole assured her that he could not, if everything was handled correctly. For the first time since Marcus left, Lena felt something stronger than grief. She felt control. Mr. Cole arranged her flight to Zurich and recommended an aggressive divorce attorney named Camille Reynolds. Camille reviewed the filing and explained that Marcus had unknowingly helped Lena by filing first, declaring the marriage over and requesting a clean separation. Because the inheritance would arrive after the filing date, it would be legally separate property. Marcus would receive nothing. Camille's investigator quickly uncovered even more. Marcus had opened private credit cards, spent thousands on hotels, jewelry, restaurants, and clothes during his affair, hidden money in a secret savings account, and opened accounts using Lena's personal information. Camille told Lena it appeared Marcus had stolen her identity. 3 days before Lena's flight, Marcus appeared at her door carrying flowers. He claimed he wanted to talk and admitted he had made a mistake. Lena reminded him that he had said she did not belong in his new life and asked when he had suddenly changed his mind. Then she asked who had told him about her aunt. Marcus's expression shifted, confirming everything. Lena accused him of returning only because he had heard about the inheritance. Marcus insisted they had built a life together and argued that because they were still married, anything she received belonged to both of them. Lena reminded him that he had filed for divorce. Marcus said he could withdraw it, but Lena told him she would not agree. His face hardened, and he asked whether she thought money made her powerful. Lena replied that it had simply made his motives obvious. She closed the door and called security. That same evening, Marcus filed a motion claiming Lena was hiding assets, but the judge rejected it. Lena flew to Zurich the next morning. There, she learned how carefully Victoria had planned everything. Most of the estate sat inside protected trusts. Future spouses could not claim the money. Lawsuits could not easily reach it, and independent trustees controlled major distributions. Victoria had built a financial fortress around Lena. Mr. Cole also gave her a box filled with letters Victoria had written every year of Lena's life, but had never sent. In one letter, Victoria wrote that she had watched Lena become quieter over the years and warned her that if someone valued her usefulness more than her heart, she should leave before that person convinced her that exhaustion was love. In the final letter, Victoria wrote that money could not create character, only expose it, and told Lena to use the inheritance to build safety, purpose, and freedom. She also warned Lena never to prove her value to someone committed to misunderstanding it. Lena cried for the aunt she had never truly known, then signed the documents and returned home ready for court. The forensic accountant's final report was devastating. Marcus had hidden more than $70,000 while telling Lena they could not afford a house. He had used a personal loan to take Vanessa on a luxury vacation and had created $41,000 in fraudulent debt under Lena's name. Lena filed a police report. That night, Marcus called and complained that the police had questioned him at work. He accused Lena of destroying his career, but she reminded him that he had used her identity. Marcus tried to argue that married couples shared financial information, but Lena told him marriage was not permission to steal. He offered to drop his claim to the inheritance if she withdrew the criminal complaint. Lena refused. When he called her vindictive, she said she was finally holding him accountable. At the divorce hearing, Marcus's attorney demanded access to Lena's inheritance. The judge asked Marcus whether he was changing his position only because his wife had become wealthy. After hesitating, Marcus admitted that he was. The judge rejected his claim and reminded him that he had filed for a clean separation. Camille then presented the hidden accounts, affair expenses, fraudulent signatures, and identity theft. Marcus was ordered to pay all fraudulent debts, return Lena's share of the hidden savings, cover her legal fees, and avoid all contact with her. The identity theft evidence was referred for prosecution. Outside the courtroom, Marcus glared at Lena and asked whether she thought she had won. Lena looked at the man she had once believed she could not live without and told him she hoped he rebuilt his life, but he would do it without her money, and without someone else carrying his weight. Vanessa left Marcus several weeks later, and his company fired him after learning about the fraud investigation. Lena did not spend her new life watching his collapse. She created the Victoria Carter Foundation to help people escaping financial abuse. The foundation paid for emergency housing, attorneys, credit recovery, and forensic accounting. Then Lena helped launch ClearGuard, a financial security platform that warned users about unusual transfers, hidden accounts, and identity theft. Within 2 years, ClearGuard was valued at more than $1 billion. Marcus continued blaming Lena for his failures, sending anonymous messages and attempting to use her identity again. This time, he was arrested, convicted of identity theft, harassment, and violating the protective order. As Lena left the courthouse, a reporter asked whether she felt she had finally gotten revenge. Lena said no. When the reporter asked what she felt instead, Lena answered with one word: free. Years later, Lena stood before thousands of women at a national conference. She told them that her husband had once said she did not belong in the life he wanted. At the time, she believed losing him meant losing her future. She later learned that rejection was not always the closing of a door. Sometimes it was being removed from a room that was making you smaller. She explained that the inheritance gave her resources, but it did not create her strength. The money did not file the police report, walk into court, or turn pain into purpose. Lena had done those things herself. The audience rose to its feet. That evening, Lena returned home and reread Victoria's final letter, especially the line telling her never to prove her value to someone committed to misunderstanding it. Marcus had walked away believing Lena would disappear. Instead, she built a company, a foundation, and a life that helped thousands of people. She did not become powerful because she inherited $812 million or because Marcus lost everything. She became powerful the moment she stopped asking someone else to confirm her worth. Everything after that was simply proof.